We hope to make banking the least of your worry.
Senator Sabina Perez, Democrat, the oversight chair of the Legislative Committee on Procurement. I guess, first of all, Senator, thanks for joining us. Is the oversight hearing set for 5 p.m. still a go?
I'm still going ahead as planned. So regarding the emergency session, even though the emergency session was called, I'm still going to plan as if it's going to take place. I was very surprised by the announcement of the emergency session, and considering that the bills before the body were not even heard, and they're all competing bills. In speaking to the speaker, I basically requested a recess for my oversight hearing, and it was not granted. And so
Wait. What do you mean it was not granted?
She was not willing to go along with granting of a recess.
Did she say why?
Oversight. She felt that the 3 bills, or 4 bills now, up for discussion, was an emergency, required immediate attention. And considering that recesses have been granted in the past during session, I thought it was a reasonable request to have recess for the oversight. So, I'm basically, there's still an opportunity to get the oversight, continue with the oversight with the support of at least 8 of my colleagues to at least have public hearings on the bills, to come up with the best solution rather than to have a knee-jerk reaction, in responding to, the payment of frontline responders. And
right.
In no way I'm saying that that's not important, but I can't see why that we can work together in ensuring that both agendas are taken care of.
Right, Senator. What's really going on here? Because on its surface, it looks like Speaker Barnes is running interference for Adelup. It looks like that she called this session to try and ruin your oversight, to try and get it canceled, to try and get it postponed. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I'm just good at reading people, and that's what it looks like out here.
I can't speak to what her relationship with the governor is, but the fact that she was not granting me a recess could play into that perception. Mm-hmm. So I'm very upset with how this is being handled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost like, I've got this big issue with the nurses and the frontliners, and I'm going to use this as an excuse to make sure that this oversight hearing doesn't happen, at least tomorrow. I mean, today. It really is just...
Yeah, and...
It's questionable.
Yes, I agree with that. And basically the only thing that she can offer me was that once they're done with all the deliberations, and then I can go into my oversight hearing, and that really does a disservice to the planning that has taken place and the people that have agreed to be present.
Right, and let's go into that. The people who have agreed to be present. What about the people who aren't going to be present? What can you tell us about the governor's legal counsel, the governor's legal team, BBMR Lester Carlson, and
was the AG invited?
The AG's office was invited. They do have 2 members coming.
Right now, what about the Attorney General, Levin Camacho? Was he invited?
Yes, he was invited, as well as Jessica Toft. But Jessica Toft and Shannon Taitanoa will be present.
Why isn't the Attorney General going to be present? Did he provide a reason, or did he bother to respond?
I'd have to double check with that. My office, what the responses were.
And we talked about this a little while ago, but it kind of seems like if you're going to have an oversight on the procurement of the Gov Guam hotel quarantine and isolation facilities, that maybe you might want to have the guy who led the procurement effort, the governor's legal counsel, Hai Hyun, present. What can you tell us about why nobody is anybody from the governor's legal counsel team showing up? And if so, why aren't we getting the guy who called all the shots? I mean, it's just kind of a no-brainer, Senator.
Yes, so that is the option that I can use is subpoena if they do not show. So that definitely is an option for me to use.
But
And
they're not shown.
if they don't come, there's still time. I mean, of course, that's something I will utilize.
There might be an emergency session though when you decide to have another hearing. Just
And then how would it work, Senator? So if the governor's legal team and Lester Carlson or whoever gives you the snub, no show, what's the process for subpoenaing them and compelling them to come before the body and answer the questions? Is it going to happen at a later date, or is it something that you're going to try and do by the end of the day so that they're compelled to show up?
That's something I'm working on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just so I'm clear, AG Levin Camacho, invited, no show. Lester Carlson, BDMR, invited, no show. Hai Kien, invited, no show. Sophia Diaz, invited, no show. Who else?
June Borja is the other one.
Who's June Borja?
She's the ASO. She's the procurement officer for the governor's office.
Okay. So you FOIA'd for all of these unsigned contracts, invoices, which we posted on our website, and I think it's up on the legislature's website. You've had the opportunity to review them. What are your just initial thoughts before you go into this oversight hearing?
So first of all, I didn't FOIA. I basically put a letter of request for the contracts, and what I could see is that they were unsigned. So they're not real. They're unsigned contracts, for what I could tell.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we
But
pay
if
out one?
There's still a question as to where is the contract? Where are we at with the contracts?
Right.
They were paid.
Yeah, we were able to FOIA. We got a FOIA yesterday that was complied with, and it's showing electronic fund transfers to the tune of $1.7 million were paid on some of these. What do you call them? Contracts, not contracts. What do we call them? Because
Unsigned contracts.
Unsigned contracts, I guess.
And the ones that had signatures on them, I want to say maybe two of them, they were signed the same day as the governor's memorandum that she sent to the Department of Administration.
Yeah, that could be brought into the oversight.
What's your plan, Senator, with this hearing?
So that's something that I would like to hold off on that. So as far as questions go.
Ooh, surprise attack. I like it. I like it. I like it.
I do
you know
have,
they're listening, right?
Yeah, the other senators there. So, I mean, they would have their own set of questions. And
Right.
basically, assembling the panel that was involved in the procurement process of the quarantine facilities. And
Mm-hmm.
For the most part.
Yeah, and finding out where, what happened and what are the gaps, what needs to be addressed moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get how you can have this oversight hearing, and I'm not dissing on you. I just don't get why Adelup doesn't tell these guys, "Hey, go to this oversight hearing." I really don't get it. I mean, the governor's legal counsel is getting paid over $120,000 a year in salary alone. I mean, the Sophia Diaz up there too. I just feel like these people are more than justly compensated to show up and answer questions about the work that they do as public employees. You're not a private lawyer anymore. You're working for the people of Guam. And I don't know if it's maybe there's an adjustment process that they need to get their head wrapped around that, but I don't.
If there's nothing to hide, if there was no wrongdoing, then go. I don't see what's the problem with showing up.
Or even if there is something to hide and there was wrongdoing, show up and lie.
Mm-hmm.
Just show
Just
up.
show up.
I can tell, Senator, you are frustrated,
Okay.
angry, or all of the above.
Hello?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I concur.
Okay. I do want to ask, because I'm just trying to figure out how this is going to happen, though. If you guys are, say, in session and it gets closer to 5 o'clock, how does this work? You're going to move to recess, even though she said, I'm not allowing a recess?
Are we going to see a walkout? Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you guys take a vote? Or is because she said no, that's
there's
it?
There's still opportunities to get, there's still motions that could be made.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys could open emergency session and then someone could just do a motion right there, a motion to recess, and if you have the votes, that's it, pence it. Is there still confidence, Senator, in Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes' leadership? Is there any concern with your colleagues that she's just too close for comfort with Adelup, because this has been the trend? And I really think that come election time, it's not going to be the governor who's going to pay the piper. It's going to be you guys there in the legislature.
Yeah, I don't want to make any comments regarding that at this time.
Okay, so what do you want to comment on? We know that you got prep to do for this hearing, so we'll just give you the floor.
Yeah.
What do you want to say in closing, Senator?
Yeah, I think what's really important, with COVID-19 and all of the things that have transpired, it really has challenged us in procurement. I think we really need to hold up procurement processes even during these times of the pandemic. And so, yeah, I would like to kind of understand what happened and how do we move forward, especially with, the $1 billion that we're going to get from the federal government. And it's important that we do things right.
Okay.
And follow our local laws, follow federal guidelines, and to get the needed relief for our people.
All right. Well, thank you.
I think more importantly, it's, how do we want to function as a government, in order to ensure that public funds are expended properly and with the trust of our people.
Okay.
All right, Senator. Hey, thank you so much for calling in. I know you got 20 million things going on, and we appreciate you making good on that commitment.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Okay,
Take care.
good luck.
Good luck.
Break a leg. Ask a
Wash your
question. Wash your hands too.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
8:49. Wow. So
I'm not sure.
What?
I think the silence spoke volumes.
She's got to be one of these people who, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
But
she held back. Like,
oh
I
my
could
God.
feel like, oh my gosh.
I felt it.
Jeez.
I felt the feels that she's having right now, and they're not good feels if you're going to that oversight hearing.
She's like this. Don't
Say, maybe she muted herself too. She's like, I better just mute myself just to be safe. Jay?
Okay, I did want to say that there was at least one person. Our friend Glenn Lujan.
Yes.
From is it different?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.